Hello everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to use Better Auth UI. So this component or this UI is specifically built for Better Auth. If you're using this component, it's really make everything so simple. As you can see in here, for example, this screenshot right here, there's a sign-in component, sign-up component, forget password, everything in here is just works when you import the component UI. Let me show you on the VS Code in here. As you can see, I'm on the app slash out slash path slash page.tsx, right? What I render in here is just out view, right? Just that's it. So let's take a look what happened on the browser. As you can see in here, if I go to the out, right, slash sign in, it basically will render the sign in page with that UI. And every validation also just works out of the box. As you can see in here, if I click login without give any value, we get an error, right? Email is invalid, password it's required. If I go to sign up, it also works. As you can see, the sign up UI component, it just render right here. Of course, I can sign up right now, like let's say John, the email, say john@mail.com, the password 123123123. I can create account. As you can see, it should basically success. As you can see, only sign in user will see this. Basically, I'm on the dashboard right now. And as you can see, this user button also available on that Better Auth UI. The settings, as you can see here, I can change my name, email, the security, and etc. And how you can using that is pretty simple. Just import the component name and you're done. Before we move to the video, I'm going to show you this ZEGOCLOUD. With ZEGOCLOUD, you can build interactive real-time apps with voice, video, and chat API. That means you can create projects like video call application, voice call, live streaming, and in-app chat. And the beauty about this ZEGOCLOUD also, there is a UI kits in here. That means you can just using that UI kits to create your own application. Like as you can see in here, 101 call and group call, video conference, and etc. So how you can using that, just go to create an account in here, go to your console.zegocloud.com. And in here, basically, you can create the project. You can create your project in here. Just select any project that you want to create, like voice or video call, video conference, 101 tutoring, whatever you want, right? Just click that and then click next, give any name you want, and you're done. So after you create the project, you can click that. And in here, you can see this view guide. You can click that view guide and you can specify what you want to use, like Android, web, or etc. And in here, you can integrate that using HTML script like jQuery, PHP, JCP, or you can use NPM package like React, Vue, and etc. So let's try to see this React and etc. As you can see, this is the SDK. You can install it and just follow along all the instruction. It's basically super simple, and there's an example as well in here. If you sign up right now, you will get 10,000 minutes for free. Link should be on the description. All right, so let's get back to the video. So anyway, for this video, we are going to use Next.js, but of course you can use TenStackStar or React itself, right? So I'm going to use Next.js. So let's create a project with name Outcraft. I want to say yes, of course. Yep, I'm going to use the recommended default. All right, so now let's go back to the Better Auth UI documentation. And as you can see, the requirement in here, we have to install ZCN UI sooner and Tailwind CSS version 4 and the Better Auth itself, right? So let's go back on the terminal and we can do npx ZCN, I believe, add letters, and I want to say init to initialize the ZCN in this project. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to use neutral. So next, we need to install the sooner component from the ZCN, right? This component right here, just copy the comment right here and then paste that to terminal and then hit enter. And the next thing is we need to make sure that we using the Tailwind CSS version 4. So let's go back to JSON, package.json file, and let's take a look. This one right here, we're using Tailwind CSS version 4. Great. The next thing is we need to install the Better Auth. And also for this video, we're going to use Prisma ORM. So let's go back in my blog on Medium. Let's take a look how we can install the Prisma, right? So I'm going to copy this command right here. This basically will install the Prisma and also the Prisma client. And then next, what we have to do is just initialize the Prisma. I'm going to copy the comment, go back in here and just wait. All right, great. So we can just paste the npx prisma init. It should be basically generate the env file. As you can see in here, I'm going to remove all the comment stuff. And now we have the prisma.config.ts. And also we have the prisma folder, right? With the schema.prisma file in here. So next, what we have to do is let's try to update the database URL. So I'm going to copy this link right here. This is basically my PostgreSQL on my local, and I'm going to paste that on database URL. And for the name of database, I'm going to say Prisma demo db out test, for example, whatever it is, right? And also what we have to do next is we need to generate the Prisma client, right? So what we have to do is say npx prisma generate. So this command is basically will make a new folder inside the lib. You can see that on the schema.prisma. As you can see the output right here. It's basically will create the generated folder and Prisma folder inside the lib folder. This one right here. For now, it's just a file right here, right? So let's try to hit enter and let's take a look. Here we go. Now, as you can see, we have the generated folder and Prisma folder as well. Great. So let's go back. And then the next thing is we need to, you can also run the npm npx prisma db push to push the schema to database. And you can check also the Prisma Studio if you want. But let's just move. Now we are going to create the db.ts file. I'm going to copy the name. Let's try to do that on the lib. Here we go. And yep, we need to install this Prisma adapter. Copy that and then paste it. Here we go. So let's just copy everything in here. I'm going to copy that and then paste it. Great. So now as you can see, the Prisma client, it should become from the generated folder that we already run, right? It should become from the /generated Prisma client, just like this. Great. And after that, what we have to do next, I think we're done, right? And now let's try to install the Better Auth. So let's go to Better Auth documentation, copy the command here, paste it, npm install Better Auth. And then after that, we need to generate the Better Auth secret. I'm going to copy that, go to the environment variables. And then here, I'm going to say Better Auth. So anyway, guys, we get this error. I'm not sure what's happening, so let's just take a look in here. It say like Better Auth now is not support for Prisma 7. I'm not really sure what's happening because if I go to database and then Prisma, I believe now it should be support, as you can see here, starting for Prisma 7. I mean, now Better Auth should be support on Prisma 7, but I'm not sure we're getting this error. So let's try to fixing that using -- force. To be honest, I'm not really sure what's happening. But let's try to use -- force and let's go back to getting started and installation. Next thing is we need to create the Better Auth URL, right? So let's just paste that in here, create, and we need to create the auth.ts file on the lib. Copy that and here we go. I'm gonna paste it. Now let's just scroll it down and I'm gonna find this Prisma. Just copy everything, paste that. And now for the Prisma client, I'm going to import that from the /db, right? And instead of SQLite, I'm going to use PostgreSQL, copy and paste, just remove the comment here. So what the next thing is, we need to generate the schema. So I'm going to use this command right here, right? To generate the schema. So let's just run that. As you can see, the schema Prisma now is just an empty. So let's take a look at how it works. So I'm going to say yes. And now as you can see, we have the user session, we have the account and etc. That's super nice. And of course, after we update the schema.prisma, we need to run npx prisma generate again. That means this generated should be updated, right? So let's see the next step. Next is we need to specify the authentication method that we are going to use. For this video, I just want to use the email and password. So I'm going to copy that and then go back to auth.ts. And then here we have to paste that inside the Better Auth basically. So I'm going to do that in here, paste like this. And what the next thing is, we need to create the mount handler. So let's just click the Next.js app router. That's what I'm using. So I'm going to copy this API, go to the app, and then as you can see, I create the route.ts file. So now let's just copy everything, paste it. So let's take a look. Oh, I think there's a one step again. As you can see in here, create client instance. So we need to create out-client.ts. So let's do that on the lib as well. Create that file, and then now just copy everything here, paste that. And of course, we also need to copy this right here. This basically will export the function sign in, sign up, use session, and we can use that on the client component basically. So now the Better Auth functionality should be done. Let's move to the Better Auth UI right now, and we have to install this package. I'm gonna copy that and paste it. Right, just close everything in here. And then the next step is just make sure we're using Tailwind version 4, or yep, you can also using Tailwind version 3 if you want, as you can see, but this is deprecated. Let's just move with Tailwind version 4. That means this is Tailwind that we're using, right? Let's go to Tailwind app and then global CSS. And then we have to just paste this right here on the top. Just that's it. And what the next step, let's just click the what you use, all right? Because we're using Next.js, I'm gonna click Next.js. And then first we need to create the provider.tsx file. So anyway, we still get this error. I think the error, it should be still come from the Better Auth. So that's why we're gonna use a -- force again for that Better Auth UI as well. And then as you can see, we need to create a provider.tsx. Let's go to the root and I'm gonna create components. We already have that right here. Inside the component folder, I'm gonna create the provider.tsx. The provider should be on same level with UI folder like this one right here. Right, after that, what we have to do, just copy all of that. Copy and just paste it, right? Of course, you can just see the code and learn with yourself, right? But let's now trying to move. Let's see, next thing is we need to wrapping the children on the layout with provider, right? Let's go to the app and then layout here, that children. So let's wrapping that using the provider. Let's do providers, and then put the children like this. What next step? Next, we need to create the out pages. So what we have to do is just copy this path right here, out/path/page.tsx. I'm gonna copy that and then go to app right here and then paste that. So this basically will create the pages, right? I'm gonna copy that all the code and paste it. As you can see, this basically just return the main, and then inside that we have the out view. Just that's it. So now let's try to running npm run dev, and we are gonna access the out/ whatever it is, right? So let's do that. Localhost 3000 / out, for example, /sign in. So now magic will be happen. As you can see, we have the sign in form. How this is possible, and also all the validation is just works out of the box. But as you can see, the form is not really on the center of the browser. So what's wrong in here? So anyway, you can just add like a background red or any color you want, and you can see that things right here. So what happening here? So anyway, I think I'm gonna make sure the width should be 100%. So the way we're using the, I think we have container in here, so we can just put the container on the center. So we can do mx auto. And here we go. And also we can add the minimal height to screen. And yep, that's it, right? So let's just remove the background. That's how I fix that position, right? Really simple. But how do we know the road in here available, like a sign in, like a sign up? So anyway, I believe it should be also available on the documentation. As you can see in here, the out/path in here is it should be have this following path: /sign in, /sign up, magic link, forget password, and a lot of things. That's super nice. So let's try to sign up, right? I just wondering, is that working? So let's just try to open the Prisma Studio so we can see that database, right? All right, so anyway, on the Prisma Studio, we have this error right here. I'm not sure what happened. So I think because we're not yet running npx Prisma db push, and here we go, it's done. So let's running that again, npx Prisma Studio. And now as you can see, it works, right? And we have some table in here, account, session, user, and verification. All of that is empty for now. So let's try to sign up, right? I'm gonna sign up with my name, my email, and also password 123. Let's create an account. As you can see, I get an error. Let's do that 123 123 123. I think, yeah, as you can see in here on the terminal, we have this error, password is too short. So let's try to create an account, and as you can see, now we're on the root. That means it's successful. So let's try to refresh the Prisma Studio, go to user, and then as you can see in here, we successfully signed up. There is a user right here. How cool is that? So let me go back in here and go to the out sign in. Let's try to sign in. I'm going to put the email, the password, and login. And as you can see, it's also successful to log in. If you're wondering how to create the protected route, I'm going to show you. So let's try to create the dashboard in here. Let's say dashboard / page.tsx. And anyway, here, as you can see on the documentation, I believe there is a component called sign in. As you can see in here, this sign in component conditionally render its children component based on whether a user is authenticated. So we're going to using that here. I'm going to paste that component. As you can see, first I'm using sign in. That means the only sign in user will see this one. Also sign up, that means you need to log in to access this feature. If user not log in, user will see this one. If user sign in, user will see this one. Right. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not sure what I'm positioned right now is that I'm logged in or not. So let's see on the dashboard. I'm doing typo in here. My bad, guys. It should be dashboard. I'm going to say yes. And as you can see in here, only sign in user will see this. That means now we already sign in. So I think it's better that if we have an header, right? So let's create the header first on the component. So inside a component folder, I'm going to create a file called headers.tsx, and then I'm going to paste this component. As you can see, this basically just render the user button component. You can take a look at the user button component right here, I believe. So let's try to scroll up. And this one right here, this is the example. If I click that, it should be show this one right here. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of props in here. You can check that out. There is the example and etc. Basically, you can just check that out on the documentation. So let's take a look. Now we are going to render the header. So anyway, I'm going to render the header on the layout in here, right? It should be still inside the provider component. So let's try to render the header like this. And save that. So let's take a look at the result on the browser. We should see this header right here. And as you can see, this is the user button, right? So let's just take a look. The user button here, the size is icon. Of course, you can change that wherever you want. Like for example, default, large and small. For example, I'm going to click large. I'm going to save. And as you can see, it just looks like this. So I think I like to use icon as well. As you can see, that's the result. So as you can see, if I click this one, we have this name and my email. We have this icon here, super nice. We have the settings, right? If we also have the sign out. So let's try to see the settings right here. Now it's not available. Of course, we don't yet create the account / settings basically. So let's try to go back and I'm going to sign out and just try to see. And as you can see, it works basically. So if I go to the dashboard again, as you can see now, we see this one right here. You need to log in to access this feature. That means the protected page is just working, right? So now how about the setting page? As you can see in here, if I sign in again, right? Let's do that. gmail.com, my password 123 123 123. Click sign in and let's go to the settings. Now as you can see, it's not available. Let me just try to go back to the, I think, Next.js right here. And this one right here, we can create the, what is that? This one right here, right? We can create the account / path / page.tsx. Just copy that and go back to app, paste that, hit enter, and then paste everything in here. And here we go. So now, basically, if I go back in here and access the settings, this one right here is just a render. That means in here we can change the name, for example, Chandev, right? If I click save, and now as you can see, it's Chandev. How cool is that? And of course, I think the email should be not works. I'm not sure. Let's add A right here or X. I'm not sure. Let's try to click save. And if that works, nope, of course. If something wrong happened, as you can see, if I click save this one, it's not show any error. So let's try to see how to show the error, because now the error is just on that console right here. I think the toaster, it should be works automatically, the error toaster right here. So my problem is, I think on the layout, I'm not yet render the toaster, right? So let's try to render that. Toaster come from the component UI/sooner. Here we go. Let's try to save that. And now if I click save, as you can see, change email is disabled. That means now we have this error, right? We know what's happening. That's nice. So let's go to security. You can change the password in here. That's nice. And even we have the session. How cool is that? So anyway, I'm not yet trying the change password feature. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And 3, 4, 5. Save. And let's take a look. Your password has been changed. Great. the change password is also works out of the box. Super cool. So I think that's it, guys, for this video. And of course, there's other features in here. There's a lot of features like a magic link, two-factor, and etc. Right? I think there is a nice feature that we are going to cover on the next video. Maybe, I hope. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. See you on the next one.